There have been a large number of changes made to the 4th edition, but these next 3 slides highlight the principal ones you need to be aware of. Option A has had a small change made to it, which now enables it to be a complete lump sum contract by enabling the contractor to revise the activity schedule if work they had put on the schedule is no longer required. There's a new dispute resolution option, option W3, and there's been a new escalation procedure brought into W1 and W2 using senior representatives. Both these are talked about later. There are a number of new X options brought in. X8 and X9 has been brought in from the professional services contract. Option X8 is undertakings to the client or others, and option X9 is the transfer of rights. There's a new option X10 for information modelling, BIM as we probably know it better, and X21 and X22 are also new. X21 is a whole life cost, X22 early contractor involvement. These are discussed later in the session. And then part of the core clause on termination, clause 90.2, has been moved into a new X11, allowing the client to have termination at will. Unlike the NEC3, which had 2 fee percentages, we've now reverted back to just 1 fee percentage. The early warning procedures, the old risk register and risk reduction procedures, have been enhanced in clause 15. Contractors' proposals have been added in clause 16. There's a new termination for corrupt acts and a new definition of what a corrupt act is in clause 18. Assignment and disclosure clauses have been added. There's a new and quite important deemed acceptance for programs that has now been added into clause 31. A quality management system has been added in clause 40. And there's now a requirement that contractors provide applications for payment. We will again look at this one in particular later on in the sessions. Clause 50.9 brings in a new sign-off of defined cost, enabling the contractor to get defined cost agreed and signed off during the course of the contract. There's a final assessment procedure has been brought into the contract in clause 53. The NEC concept of proposed instructions, which was rather slim, has now been brought into a full clause in its own right. New additional compensation events can be stated in the contract data under clause 60.1, and the schedules of cost components have been significantly changed and simplified. You will remember that the 3rd edition ECC had a guidance note commentary that went with it, and then there were also 2 how-to guides that had been developed over the course of the last years. All this and more has been brought into 5 user guides. There's a user guide for establishing a procurement contract strategy, volume 1, which is applicable to all NEC contracts, and volume 3, selecting a supplier, is also applicable to all contracts. And then for each individual contract, and in this case for the engineering and construction contract, volume 2 deals with preparing the engineering and construction contract, the contract strategy stage, and volume 4, which is much more akin to what the supervisor would be involved with, is managing the engineering and construction contract, the processes and procedures you put in place to manage it while it's on site. There are still flowcharts available for the ECC, but this time they are only available electronically.